All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited for another Hub 101. Woo! My name is Janelle Martin.
I'm Imani Moore.
And we are so excited to have you joining us again today for another Hub 101. As some of you may be familiar with Austin Coming Together already, ACT is a backbone agency for collective impact, serving a network of nonprofit, faith-based, public, and private member organizations. As part of ACT, the Austin Community Hub is a safe space to intentionally and thoughtfully encourage disconnected families and individuals in collaboration with our member base to securely connect community members to holistic services, such as career counseling, housing, continuing education, legal assistance, and more.
Part of these services include informing our community members about the different organizations that we work with and the great resources and programs that they have to offer. So we created Hub 101s. Today we'll be discussing how you can access services with Open Books, who provides literacy experience for tens of thousands of readers each year through inspiring programs and the sale of new and used donated books. Okay, so we will begin with the presentation from Open Books, and then we will have a chance for any questions after the presentation. Please feel free to put your questions inside the live chat, and we'll be sure to address them when the time comes. That being said, I would like to introduce you all to Open Books Senior Manager of External Relations and Community Partnerships, Mr. Curtis Flagg. Give it up for Mr. Curtis Flagg.
Woo!
Thank you for that incredible introduction, and thank you for having me. ACT has been an incredible partner of Open Books. I've seen the beginning of our relationship, and I love how far it's come and the great work that you do for the Austin community. And we're just looking to be a part of it. So I want to thank everyone for coming, and any questions or comments that you may have throughout, like they said, definitely make sure to put it in the chat. And then I'll have my information shared after. Sometimes you don't think of questions until in the car ride home. So if that happens, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to go into greater detail or provide more information about some of the things that I covered today. So I'm going to share my screen now and start the presentation. Giving up some crucial information here. All right. So who are we? Open Books is a nonprofit that provides literacy experiences for tens of thousands of readers each year through our inspiring programs and the sale of new and used donated books. All the books that we get come from you, donations from the community that we repurpose. A little bit more about how that works is that the best books that we get, we actually set to the side, and we donate those back out into the community through book giveaways, book granting programs, and book nooks, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Through our literacy programs, we transform students' reading and writing skills through experienced educators who deliver innovative instruction, passionate volunteers who serve as positive role models and provide enthusiastic support, safe learning environments for practice, exploration, and social emotional growth, and access to high quality books and tailored curriculum. Our book granting programs provide readers of all ages with engaging, appropriate, high quality books. Like I said, the best books we get, we give back out to the community. Every week, we deliver thousands of books to schools and nonprofits across Chicagoland, and that also goes for individuals as well. If you have a daycare center, if you're a babysitter, if you just want to have more books in the home for your children, we provide those at no cost. Funding for our work comes in large part from our generous donors, the sale of the donated books at our Pilsen, West Loop, and soon to be Logan Square location, as well as online. So here's our bookstore locations. We have one in the West Loop located at 651 West Lake Street. We have another location, our Pilsen warehouse, that also is a bookstore located at 905 West 19th Street, and soon to be Logan Square. I promise it looks better than this. We got paint and everything on the facade. We're looking to open before the new year, and that's at 2068 West Milwaukee. So our mission is to transform lives through reading, writing, and the power of books. How we're looking to do that is to increase access to reading, writing, and books. And that's across all platforms, all neighborhoods, all ages. Also to provide programs built on this access. So the books that we're providing, we want to generate tailored curriculum and experiences through the access of books. And finally, this is to integrate adults to power programs and increase effect. If the adult struggles with reading, then the kid will struggle with reading, and it becomes a cyclical process throughout households when it comes to generational illiteracy. So we're looking to start young, but also empower the adults so they can feel confident to be able to enrich and intervene in the reading in their children's lives. Who do we serve? Everyone, but we break it down by birth through 12th grade, and birth through 3rd grade is our reading programs. All low-income, under-resourced communities, those are our priority locations. So we want to make sure that we're serving them first to make sure that equity is met in our society. And that's through in-school and out-of-school participants and programs. And they can also be one-time and long-time participants. So whether you're in our program once, or if you do it on a continual basis, we want to make sure that every single experience is fulfilling and richful enough that you can take that on with you throughout your life. Our reading programs are catered to 4th through 12th grade, and our reading programs are catered birth through 3rd, mainly because that's a very fundamental time in brain development for youth, as a ton of studies have shown. Having books in the home or engaging with your reader, with your child during that period of time is super crucial and key for long-term success. So far, we've served over 5,000 students through our literacy programs. We've engaged over 900 volunteers and always looking for more. It could be regular or one-time opportunities. And we've granted now actually over 180,000 books to children in schools and other organizations through our book access programs. A few of our programs that we have currently coming out of the pandemic is our Storytime program. Now that is a participatory program that involves read aloud stories, songs, interactive arts and crafts, and book-based activities for pre-readers. So we identified pre-readers as 0 to 5. So they're not independently reading yet. So it's pre-K children and their caregivers. We have that at several locations, mainly being our West Loop store, which we have put on hold. So if you go to open-books.org, you can find where we're hosting those story times. And it's led by our team of storytellers and early learning professionals. Our Reading Buddies program is what I identified just a moment ago about really honing in on that 2nd to 3rd grade student level, where it's very fundamental in their brain development. We work one-on-one with the students to go over prose, how to form sentences. This is by no means teaching anyone how to read. They all have it in them. What we're really looking to do is build their confidence as readers and writers as they continue to advance in their school learning. It's also making sure that they're reading at grade level. So we do work with struggling readers that fall below their grade and their age reading level to make sure that we are equipping them with the literacy tools necessary to carry on in school. Our volunteers are serve as big buddies and coaches. I actually started at Open Books as a big buddy, and that was how I kind of got the connection with the organization and said, I really want to be a part of this even deeper. And at the end, we do book giveaways. So all of our programs will incorporate some sort of book access. So we give away books to children, to independent readers, to pre-readers and their families as well. We do also give away adult books. So parents, there's something for you too. And then our book granting programs. It's really at the crux of what we do is creating an access to books. So free books for educators and nonprofit partners. Like I said earlier, anyone that's looking for books. So if you don't feel like you fit in an educator bucket, or if you don't run a nonprofit, if you run a business and you want a book nook for your waiting room, or if, like I said, babysitters, daycare centers, etc. And these book grants have an application process so we can make sure we customize the books that we pull. They're all hand selected. We just don't grab a ton of books and throw them in a box for you. We actually have book donation coordinators that will hand select books from all ages, pre-readers through adults. They're high quality and engaging books. The best books that we get donated, we set to the side for this specific purpose. And they are hand selected by our team at Open Books Pilsen. So that warehouse, you can always go down and take a look at the book selections that we have and cater your book requests based off of that. How can you volunteer with Open Books? There are several ways. You can volunteer for any of our programs. If you love bookstores, we're always looking for bookstore volunteers to help pull those books for the book grant. So if you feel like you know what books would go best for children and families, we're always looking for volunteers to help with that hand selecting process. Our core of volunteers make everything possible for the organization. Without our volunteers, we are not an organization. And they help us expand our programming. They help us expand our book selection and acquisition process and all of our literacy resources. So whether you're a one-on-one coach in our buddies program with second and third graders, shelving books in our retail locations, granting books to families at our community events. We do several events throughout the year. Our volunteers come and assist us in that process. The work that the volunteers do makes sure that all children in Chicago have exactly what they need to be lifelong readers. You can also donate your books. This is how we operate. So if you got books collecting dust in your attic, or maybe they're just sitting on the table as a coaster for your drink, we take any and all books in sellable book condition. Think about it as this will be a child's first book. So if the pages are ripped and torn and it's not in great condition, more than likely we won't be able to give those away in the program. So we look to have all high quality books. So whatever you have in your home that you're willing to give, we will take them. We do free book pickups. We have several drop-in locations across the city. You can go to open-books.org. donate books to see where the exact drop-in locations are, like this wonderful woman is dropping off in the photo. We have a zero waste policy, so if we can't give the book away, we recycle the book. We give away 2.5 books. It's basically 3 to 3 now for every 3 books that we sell. And we take books, fiction, nonfiction, craft books, cookbooks, children's books. We shy away from encyclopedias or books that basically will be timed out. We also take LPs and records. If you go to our Pilsen location, we have a ton of records and vinyls for those who are audiophiles. Since we give away so many children's books, though, we're always looking for children's books. Like those are probably our highest priority and what we're looking to get in. But once again, we will not turn away any book. And so with that, we all know that books change lives. Statistics show before the age of 5, children are 3 times more likely to complete high school, 80% more likely to graduate from college, and 48% less likely to repeat grades if they have books in their home and they're exposed to them before that time period. Creating a steady stream of new age-appropriate books has been shown to nearly triple interest in reading within months. Like anything else in your environment, once you're exposed to it, you have that inclination to explore more, and nothing unlocks a world of creativity like books. But unfortunately, we know not all kids have books at home. Middle-income households, it's about 13 books to every one child, whereas in low-income households, it's one book for every 300 children. So just imagine the amount of children that don't have any books in the home or don't have access to books in their community. And at Open Books, we want to change that. So we partnered with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to make sure children age 0 to 5, so that's birth to 5, get 12 brand new books mailed straight to their home every year. Some of you on this Zoom might already be familiar with this program, so I want to explain it to the people who may not be very familiar with it. So this program to date has delivered 110 million books to 1.3 million children in the US, Australia, UK, and Canada. And Open Books proudly serves as the exclusive approved partner for the entire city of Chicago. So 2 initiatives that we wanted to bring on into our portfolio is that 1 free book a month mailed to every eligible participant from the ages of 0 to 5 in under-resourced communities in Chicago. So we identify neighborhoods we feel might serve as book deserts, much like you all have heard of food deserts, that don't have equitable access to books, and we want to make those our priority communities. If your child starts the program at birth, they will receive up to 60 books over that period of time. And this is an ongoing program, so we're never running out of books and resources to give. So if you're an expecting mother right now, or if you're an expecting father right now, or if you have someone in your network in the Austin community that you know either has children or are expecting children, we can sign them up today. They put their the expected due date, and then they will start to receive books from that moment on. This is a little convoluted, but it gives you a good sense of like how the program works in whole. So Open Book side, we are the primary role here. So we're the local affiliate. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. Our goal is to enroll as many children as possible from birth to 5 into this program. The books are approximately $2.10 from warehouse to door, and that includes wholesale books, mailing costs, everything included. And then we promote it like I'm doing right now locally to drive more enrollment and to also encourage people to donate if they can to the cause. And Imagination Library takes care of the rest. So they cover all the overhead fees, the database they support. They make sure that the Blue Ribbon Selection Committee, which is early education professionals, identify the highest quality books for curriculum and brain development and literacy enrichment. So all of the books are very carefully crafted and selected that are part of this program, and they get them out and into the homes of the families. So this is at no charge for the family. This is no bait and switch. We don't ask you to cover shipping costs. We don't ask you to pay for the books. All we ask is that you sign up for the program, and it's highly private. So your data won't be shared with third-party organizations. You don't have to click the app not to track like on your phone. It's from warehouse to door with no data sharing at all, which is incredible. Here's a list of some of the books, and I can share these links out as well if you're curious about the books that come month to month, year to year. And this is broken down by when the child was born. So this is up to present day. So if you have a 4.5-year-old child, you're going to be looking at group 6, and then so on and so forth. And so year 1, every child actually gets The Little Engine That Could as their first book. So you kind of get like an extra book on the house as a welcome book, and we all like The Little Engine That Could. So it's a perfect book to start. And these books are also addressed to the child. So their first piece of mail won't be a bill, it'll be a book. It'll be a brand new book in the wrap, delivered directly to the home. And a lot of these books as well will be bilingual English, Spanish, or contain content, diverse content. So characters of color, Spanish, Hispanic, and cultural titles as well. So, and that is only improving. And we're working behind the scenes with the Imagination Library as well to make sure that other cultures, other nationalities and ethnicities are also displayed. This is actually a niece Rowe, who is an Austin resident that I had an opportunity to talk to about the Imagination Library and enrolling her children in the program. So I want to play a little bit about what she said about the Imagination Library program.
So my name is Ms. Rowe, and I've been in the program, I believe, now for 3 to 4 months. And as far as how many I have in the program, there's a total of 3. So I have this is the youngest, she's Crystalani. She'll be 1 next month. And then I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. So, I mean, we pretty much like the idea of knowing that there's something coming in the mail for us. And I believe the children, you know, are always excited to receiving free books is a major help to my lifestyle. I am a mother of 7 children. This is the youngest child. So unfortunately, library books, I can't always keep up with those. So the fact that we actually have our own books, I feel like the kids take better care of what's ours than actually rent it anyway. It's also the mail experience for us that it's really exciting because they get to go out, find a book for themselves, and I mean, it makes them happy.
You excited whenever you get your books in the mail?
Yeah.
Is it exciting to get something in the mail?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you look for the books all the time to see if they came in the mail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we read maybe about, say, 7 times a week at least. We definitely read a book every night, right, Krista? That's your favorite? So some of my favorite books are like Whose Toes Are Those? Helps children learn about body parts. T for Not for biting when we have children, because I have biters and things like that. So some that can kind of relate to my lifestyle, and even good night numbers, you know, just on your way to bed, let's count and then let's like go to sleep. I would definitely say reading is fundamental and it's just a way to interact with your children. And my daughter would say we love reading, so gotta try it out, right?
That should show a little bit about how the program works and, you know, some of the positive highlights of receiving books directly to the home to build your home library. If you can get out and the library might be an obstacle, bookstores might be an obstacle. This is, especially when we were living in a contactless world, a way to make sure that you still have appropriate access to books. And so Austin was our second neighborhood that we rolled out. We do want to be completely rolled out to the entire city of Chicago by the year 2023, but that's of no consequence to anyone on this call because you can get books right now delivered directly to your home if you have a child 0 to 5, or if you know someone with a child from 0 to 5. If you also have an organization that services children in that age range, and some might be displaced or may not have a permanent home address, we can work out to where your organization or your business is the landing spot for the books, and they can just be mailed directly to that location, and you can distribute the books to the families that you serve. It's super simple. You go to our website, open-books.org/DPIL, or you can click the QR code there on the top right. I will share this out as well with ACT after the call, links and all. You complete the form. Be sure to provide the names of the child, parent, guardian, and the contact information. But the most important part is the mailing address, specifically the zip code, because that is how we release books to the communities. It's just how it works in Tennessee, where Dolly Parton's from and where the program was piloted. Chicago's a little different because you have multiple neighborhoods, all with different with the different zip codes. So the zip code is the most important piece, making sure that that zip code matches up with the Austin location. And once we receive your information, they start processing the books, the order. The last Monday of every month is when the month's applications are processed. So then it takes about 6 to 8 weeks. It's been a lot quicker than that to get the books processed and out into the mail. And you will continue to get a new book in the mail every month until their 5th birthday. Another program that we piloted that I wanted to talk about in this Zoom specifically is our North Lawndale Reads program. It is a multi-year, multi-dimensional campaign to amplify the importance of literacy and resources necessary to building reading habits and proficiencies. Our goals are to impact kindergarten readiness and 3rd grade reading achievement, that fundamental part of brain development. The reason why I mention this is because we would like to roll this program out to Austin. If there is any stakeholders or organizations that see a benefit in this program for your community, we are looking to galvanize community partners, because it's only as strong as the partnerships that we have in the community for sustainability. If you're interested in it, please reach out to me so we can start the steering process to roll this out into the Austin neighborhood. We've had Austin on our list of the second neighborhood, kind of as we rolled out DPIL. We're looking to start this program as well. So we started North Lawndale, rolled out to Austin. It was a great transition, and we'd love to make this just the same. So story time. We have a story time program, but I want to equip those on the call today with the tools necessary to do this in the comfort of your own home or the comfort of your own organization. And all of these are the exact same tools that we use to train our own staff, teaching artists, and more. So here's some tips to read with your child at home. Start young. Even the youngest children benefit from hearing more words and learning how books work. When we say 0, we actually mean in utero. So reading to your child while they're in the womb has been statistically proven to have cognitive benefits after birth. Find a cozy space, whether in bed or in a comfy chair or curled up in your lap. Make story time a cozy time to bond. The more comfortable we are, the more we're open to learning and experiences. Use different voices and expressions. This all makes story time more fun. Share some of your own childhood favorites. Exposing children to different texts can expand their minds and give them more options and dream bigger. Ask questions. Talk about the book before, during, and after reading helps children understand it more. Rereading books multiple times. I know a lot of parents out there have probably watched Moana 100 times, Coco 300 times. The same thing applies for books. Rereading the same book helps early readers learn patterns and recognize words. Repetition is key. Make it a routine. Set aside 15 minutes each night to read together as a part of bedtime. And you're never too old for a bedtime story. So even when your child seems too big, reading together is an important time to bond. Try letting them read to you or read a chapter book together. You do a sentence, they do a sentence, you do a page, they do a page, each night from a book that you love. And let them pick the book. Research shows that self-selected books help increase engagement. We like what we like. And if you're doing something that you like, you're just that much more engaged. And point to the words as you read. This will help younger children pick up words more quickly and start reading on their own. It's all about building the confidence of readers and writers. So here's some tips for developing writing and spelling at home. Writing, as we all know, is a terrific way for all of us to express our thoughts, creativity, and uniqueness, but it's very crucial in brain development for younger children as well. It also is a fundamental way in which children learn to organize ideas, and learning to write well helps children be better readers. So when you're engaging in writing, young children often mirror what they see around them in the world. Adults and older children writing lists, notes, and text messaging. All of these things that we do are fundamental steps in literacy, whether you're looking at directions or you're conversing via text. That requires cognitive and literacy skills to actually formulate these sentences in everyday life. So here's some things that families can do to support young children's writing. Always keep markers, pencils, and crayons available in the home. Children develop skills that prepare them for writing through normal play, everyday things like drawing, painting, and even tracing objects. This kind of play helps prepare the brain and muscles for holding a pencil and then forming written words. Help them learn to write their name. This is a great empowering experience. It also allows them to begin to identify themselves as writers, whether you're driving down the road and you're looking at, the street signs or the names of stores. Anything can be converted into a literacy experience. Involve them in your writing activities. Make a shopping list together. Point out the words that start with the same letter as the child's name, or things that are similar and like the others. And most of all, read books with kids. Early and frequent exposure to letters, sounds, words, and stories help kids learn to read and write. So once the child starts learning letters, you can practice writing them on paper. You can do it in the air. You could do it in sand and snow. I make a joke and say on a dusty windshield, anything that allows them to really unlock their creativity and start engaging in literacy experiences. And as you read to your children, point out things that the author did to make the book so fun to read. Like, wow, listen to how the author describes the ocean. Don't those words make you feel like you're back jumping over waves? Or, wow, with the traffic, can you hear the horns while you're maybe in a car? Show your children that you write too. Let them see your writing and thank you notes, emails, or general communication with the school or with others. Everything is habitual, and auditory and visual learners have an advantage to seeing how things are done and replicating it. And then once you put the comprehension piece in, that's when it comes full circle. How do you find good kids' books? Well, number one is you just come to Open Books and we just give them right to you. But let's say you're somewhere else and you're looking for a good children's book. How do you find that? You want to, number one, look for award-winning books. It's more than just a promotional tool. Award-winning books like the ALA selection or Caldecott Medal for Illustrations and Newbery Medal for Writing means that they are hitting benchmarks when it comes to curriculum for the age range. When you see, much like toys, that they are for children ages 3 to 5, that means that the books are up to a certain aptitude for that grade level. So if you see that a child might be struggling in that book, more than likely they're reading slightly under that grade level. So those just serve as great benchmarks to know that the books are up to a certain criteria when it comes to literacy. Check book reviews, sections of newspapers, magazines for recommended new children's books. There's always new children's books coming out, but the great part about it is they're becoming more and more diverse, more and more culturally specific, and you can find a book that the child identifies themselves in, and it makes that reading experience much more richful. Check books and authors section at readingrockets.org. A lot of this material that I'll be talking about comes from readingrockets.org. They're a wonderful resource for all things literacy. So you can go to readingrockets.org for more information on most of the things that I'm covering today. And also borrowing books from the public library, swapping them out for your favorites with neighbors. Book swapping is probably my favorite way of getting new reads, because if somebody else likes it, more than likely I might, depending on the taste, obviously. But books that are generally passed down usually have a through line of being appreciated by everyone, which is what makes open books so great, is that we're getting books that other people have valued and have shown, a sentimental appreciation for, and you just get to keep passing that on from generation to generation. So some of the things you want to do while reading is listen carefully as your child reads. You want to take turns. Like I said before, you read a sentence, they read a sentence, you read a page, they read a page. And if your child has trouble reading a word, some of the ways that you can intervene is to guide them on what to use. Maybe going over similarity in letters, sounding out words. Phonics is very fundamental in reading comprehension. So a lot of times you'll say the word, but when you see it on the paper, you don't quite, connect the dots together. So it's really connecting the dots for the child that really builds their confidence as readers. And you can just supply the correct word. Ask your child to skip over the word, read the rest of the sentence, and then say a word that is a synonym or something like that word that makes sense to the story. And then you can revisit that word later. You don't want to belittle, you don't want to discourage a child in their reading process. And also positive reinforcement. Tell them how proud you are for their efforts, word by word, sentence by sentence. It's all about building the confidence in them as readers. And your child may be focusing more on how to read each word than on what the story means. So your reading helps keep the story alive. So you're really guiding them through the process. And so here are a few more examples of how to help struggling readers. For any struggling reader, success is the key. Once you learn the word and you're able to get through the sentence or even the book, it is a ultimate dopamine builder for them. Don't set the bar too high and there's no success, and then you set the bar too low and it can be belittling. The child needs an appropriate challenge that they can overcome, and you're going to do that together. Developing a reader's self-esteem is the most important facet. You want to be inclusive. It's crucial to encourage as much success as possible when the child is learning to read. Take however long and however many steps necessary in order to accomplish completing the book or completing the page, and as discreetly and as sensitive as possible. You want to enable them to participate in discussions about the stories. How? You allow them to listen to the text beforehand and increase their familiarity with the text and give them time to process everything that they're hearing and seeing in the story to independently understand it without any pressure. Because once they get past that hurdle, they'll take more chances and read harder books, read more sentences and complete the book as a whole. Explore the children's interests. We like what we like. If you're interested in something, you're just going to spend more time and more energy in trying to accomplish it. Comics, magazines, nonfiction books are all kinds of print, visual text that can engage a reluctant reader. Once again, anything with words in it is an opportunity to learn and read. Use environmental print. So that's what I was talking about before. Anything that you see can help contextualize words. So if you don't really know how to say pharmacy, but you know what a pharmacy is, being able to connect those dots together is very critical in reading comprehension. I always say those are two words, you put them together and it's a holistic thing. You can read the words, but if you can't comprehend the words, you're still missing a very critical step in literacy. Using shared reading. Shared reading is a great method for boosting confidence of struggling readers. As the caregiver activates knowledge, the readers are beginning to identify potential vocabulary that may be used in text. How many words do we hear somewhere in the world, and then you just kind of inherently adapt the word into your everyday vernacular? The same thing works for children. So children can enjoy, and when they are ready to participate, multiple readings mean multiple opportunities for success. So it's all about the repetition. And that's the end. thank you all for listening to all of my words. So I'm going to kick it over to Amani and Janelle and any questions that any of you may have.
Thank you so much, Curtis. That was really, really great. And we really immensely appreciated getting to learn all about open books and the resources you have to offer. It looks like we do have a couple questions rolling in. Amani, if you want to grab the first one.
Yep, I'm gonna read the first question. So what does a program look like in Austin? And how do we inquire about programming?
Absolutely. So like I said earlier about North Lawndale Reads, that we would love to have Austin Reads in the community. It really starts with foundational support from the people doing the groundwork, like Austin Coming Together, like ACPN, like A House in Austin. So really just reaching out, starting that dialogue, and then we can figure out what is tangible to begin with and come up with short-term and long-term goals for sustainable programming. The last thing we want to do is, start something and it lives for about a year and then it's like gone, right? So it really starts with getting as many activated stakeholders that serve specific purposes, right? Like we do a lot of children programming. So if there are organizations that do parental or adult learning, even reformative justice programs that can create a holistic view of the literacy process, like that is a fundamental step in making it happen. So really the interest first. So that's how you can do it. Be interested, wanting to do it, and then we can connect the dots.
How many, for even just to get started, what's a rough estimate for numbers that we might need for a group?
More than 5, right? Okay. We have done programs with like Carol Robertson Center, for instance, and they have about 12 students in each of their classroom settings. Really, you want to make sure that you have enough volunteers in order to make a program adequate. So much like we would lean on engaged and willing community stakeholders, we're looking for community members too. We're looking for parents. We're looking for, longtime residents that want to volunteer their time in the programs. We do all the training and the onboarding, and we need ready, willing, and available bodies.
Okay. So if we happen to get a group together, we just have to reach out to you to get that process started?
Exactly.
All right.
And one thing that I realized that I didn't cover, I talked about book nooks. So with our book granting programs, like I don't want people to think like that large with it. Like you don't have to be a big building or organization or business. If you want community book nooks, little free libraries, they call a lot of them, we do also grant books out for those. If you have a small little shelf that's in a waiting room that you want to be filled with books, we will fill those and then we will refill those as needed. So any variety, any size of books that you're looking for, we will provide. Like the book nooks is kind of like our word now to kind of talk little free library or, book stands across communities.
Sweet. And there are no designated places where those have to be. They can go anywhere in the city of Chicago.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, granted, for the little free libraries, if you were going to put it in a business, maybe that's not yours. I think that might be an issue, but we also do the work to collaborate with maybe the building owner. If it's the Park District, we have a great relationship with the Chicago Park District. For rec centers or rec rooms, being able to provide books for that. But yeah, there really is no limitations on the where.
Okay. And then for, I'm sorry, I just had another question that just popped into my head, like a personal question just popped into my head, but it's completely something just disregard that. I think we've got another one though.
Okay, yeah, we got another question. Okay, I feel like I don't have time to read with my child? How can I incorporate reading into our day-to-day?
Yes, so that is probably one of the biggest questions that we get from parents. You are all working tirelessly to provide a life for yourself and your family, and sometimes it can be at a cost, right? And that cost is time, just time to be able to sit down. You're probably tired, to just really be able to dedicate that when you got to make dinner, you got to get them bathed, you got to brush your teeth, got to get ready for bed and go back to school the next day. That's why the environmental thing aspects really play a key role. If you are driving to the store, or if you take them with you shopping, or if you're paying your bills, like, use the times that you're doing your day to day to inject reading. If you can't really dedicate like time to grab some books, sit around the fireplace and do your own little story time, you can do that with a lot of different things. Like bills, like that was for me, like reading the newspaper during the day with like my dad or like my grandfather, like that was for me. I still remember those times in my life. Like we would read the obituary, like it could be a lot of different things. Like I said, just everything in your environment can serve a literacy purpose. Whether you're we used to play a game driving down the road where it's like the first person to read what the street sign said to see who could like read the furthest out. Make things a game, make it interactive, make it fun, but make it every day. There's things just that you do and that you might not even think of until you kind of take that step back. So yeah, you don't have to, a lot, most of us, that, live paycheck to paycheck and, are really working 45 plus hours, a week with our jobs, just can't dedicate that time. My parents were the exact same way. So we just found kind of, and we didn't have books in the home. I was lucky enough as I got older, to really appreciate, books and the love of reading and the joy of reading. But it was those small little engagements that I had with them where we were doing those things together. So yeah, to pull different pieces of your everyday life out and any words that you see, even paying bills, can help.
All right. When you were mentioning the like reading the street signs as you're going down in the car, that makes me think of like riding with my siblings every time we would do that. And one of us would do it and we always found the other one annoying, but it's actually a very helpful thing to do.
It really is, yeah. And then you're trying to, process the words. It's like, okay, I don't know that word, but I have to say it out loud so I can win, right?
Yes, exactly.
Definitely helps.
Exactly. It looks like we got another question from someone watching, I think Miss Angelica Green, and she wanted to go back to the conversation about the book nooks are like the little libraries. She said, do you know how we can get the little book boxes on our block to donate/trade books? So I know you already went over this, but could you remind for anybody who may not have regular access to a computer or something, how they might be able to get these set up on their blocks?
Yes, absolutely. So we have our Pilsen warehouse serves perfectly as that. So all children's books are free. All children's books are free at our Pilsen warehouse. Adult books are pay what you want. So you got a quarter, you got a penny, you got $1, you got $10. We will accept it, and you can take out whatever you'd like. So if you'd like to just start by building your own, we have the resources provided for you to pick those up. So that's 905 West 19th Street is our Pilsen warehouse. And you can just come anytime you feel like, you're getting a little low. Some of the one of the unfortunate things with like the little free libraries is oftentimes there's a big to do about getting it in, and like you take all the pictures, like, look, we got a little free library. 6 people come take books. You have no library. You have no books. Now you have a no free library because there are no books that are in there. Book swaps are always great, and that really takes a lot of community convening. I think the book swap part of it is always more beneficial than just kind of like the take part. So if you have some books you can put back in, it's really that cyclical process of passing down. I talked to a lot of kind of community partners that wanted to get cultural historical texts, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, books that to pass down to the younger generation, so like they learned. And so what they ended up doing was they just kind of took the books that they had in their houses and they put them in those libraries. And then those books got taken by other families and passed down. And then once they were done with it, they, so it really is communication within the community, maybe passing around flyers, say, hey, we have this little free library, please, put it on the box itself, like take a book, give a book. I found that those type of processes works best.
Okay.
And yes, you can get all of those books from us to get you started and to keep re-upping.
Thank you. Thank you. We have another question, and they want to go back to your youth programming specifically, and like how kids get involved with that. But specifically, how do you measure success of those programs?
So impact is a very tricky thing to really kind of nail down, right? It's like, what are the benchmarks outside of testing? Mm-hmm. And because the statistics are so rich of exposing children to books at those fundamental ages and having books in the home and being a part of the literacy process, that the best way to gauge that is long-term success, right? So are they reaching their curriculum benchmarks in school that are set up by Chicago Public School System or whatever the school system is that you have? And can you tie that back to them participating in literacy programs, having books in the home, being exposed to books from 0 to 5? So it's hard to real time track that impact, but what we encourage families to do is to continue the literacy enrichment. So continue to read, at night, continue to have those story times, continue to use the words that you see around, just continuing those reading and writing processes. And that really just ensures that the child is equipped for success through the whole process. So really never give up. That's what never give up. Keep reading, keep writing, and you have a much higher chance for success in education and life.
If you just stick with it.
Stick with it.
And your writing workshop, that is for children of like up and through high school, correct?
Correct. And okay. So those are also similar to kind of like the other programming. Those are more partnership based. So if we have a strong relationship with whether it be a school, we had done a lot with CPS schools when we had our West Loop location and classrooms, and they would bus the students in. But now it's very community partnership based. So in my role as external partnerships, community relations, external relations, community partnerships, a lot of words. It is my job to identify whether it be organization, whether it be school, charter magnet or otherwise, to gauge the sustainability of a program. Like, it's great to do the one-offs, but we're really looking to have sustainable partnerships so we can continue generation to generation and having these literacy programs.
And these programs are free of cost to the students who participate in them. What about the organizations who are looking to host them? You still supply the books.
We supply the books. We supply the staffing for training, volunteers. So any costs incurred from the partner organization would be on the staffing side.
Okay.
And the writing workshop are free as well, right?
Correct, free to the students.
So what I'm hearing you say is any organization who's watching right now should reach out to you immediately to look at putting together one of these programs at your place.
Yes.
Pretty cost effective. So
That was exactly what I was saying. Much less words. I just took 45 minutes to say it. So
So all y'all orgs out there who are watching right now, play like this is the man you want to know.
and I'm going to pass you to our programs, which I just talked to, and they were very excited about, me doing this presentation. We are starting we have started a program that hasn't been going long enough for me to really talk about it elaborately, but I'll just mention it here. It's called Early Learning Residencies. So it kind of takes the story time, the reading buddies, and some of the writing programs and like hybrids them. And so it's for all ages, and it really encompasses motor skills, obviously like phonics and reading. There's a lot of arts and crafts projects like we would do in our story time. There's read aloud. So it's like kind of taking a piece of everything. And that is another program that we're really looking to connect with community organizations or daycare centers or, places that host a good number of children. And it doesn't have, there's no particular number, just not like one. And we've rolled that program out so far in Pilsen, McKinley Park, for no reason other than those were the communities that reached out. And so we're kind of looking to replicate that program in as many neighborhoods as possible.
Okay. So I've got a couple thoughts.
Early learning residencies is what we're calling.
Okay.
And so how would a person sign up? Like, what does their process look like?
So it really looks like it. Well, for which one? For like the programs or for the?
Yes, for the programs. Yes.
For the programs, yeah. So for the programs, it's reaching out, see Flagg at open-books.org or info@open-books.org, giving us a general description of what you're looking to do, who you are, what organization or entity that you represent, and then we really start the dialogue at that point. If you go to our website and you look at our programs, you go to open-books.org, you go to programs and resources. We have most of our book access and literacy supports programs there. And then you would click on that link. And then there is also contact information available there about how to reach out and learn more.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. And then we can, we'll have one of our team members toss their website, Open Books website, into the Facebook chat as well. So you can access their info there. You can always get connected to Open Books through us here at the Austin Community Hub as well. We're happy to send you over to them if you've got other things you're looking for. Want to do one last call for questions. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about Open Books, anything you're interested in learning about, toss them in the chat. Imani, do you have anything?
No, I think I'm gonna sign up and get me some books.
Hey, go for it. We just got a really, really, really big haul. We talk a lot about children's books, but we would do events for a long time, and like we got a whole table full of children's books. And then who has to bring the children to the event? The parents, right? So they come up to the table, they're looking around like, "I ain't got nothing for me," and it was like, oh man, like you almost kind of didn't think about it for a while. So we got an incredible haul of adult books. A lot of like bestseller titles, New York Times bestseller, a lot of kind of really great new age adult books. So definitely check those out. Like I said, our Open Books Pilsen location, all children's books are free. Adult books are pay what you want. And every title is available. There's not like some that are like, oh no, this isn't really pay what you want, or this really amazing children's book, like, oh, this really isn't for free. That is our full scale model. And we encourage everyone in the community to come check it out.
And Pilsen location, because West Loop location is currently closed, correct?
West Loop is open. It just
Okay.
it's not the same model. They're all individual.
Okay.
Rice Books. And then the Logan location will be the same way. You can also look at a lot of our inventory online as well. So if you go to our website and you go to the bookstores, there's like an online, it says like Open Books Online, and that is our own online inventory.
Okay. Okay. So all the bookstores, all the things.
All of them.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions rolling in. So I'm going to take that as it's safe to say we are probably good for right now.
Yeah, looks like that's the last question. So we want everybody to give Open Books a big thank you. Give Curtis a big thank you for taking the time out to tell us about your organization and the incredible work that you do. And if you are interested in connecting with Open Books, let us know and we will connect you.
Yes, thank you. And if you are interested in attending next month's Hub 101, we will be talking with the Cook County Assessor's Office. It will be on Tuesday, November 15th. Again, from 12:30 to 1:45, we'll be chatting with Cook County Assessor's Office. So if you own a home, if you're curious about how to get all that stuff set and ready to go for tax season, whatever, tune in with us, join us, and we will have them explain the whole shebang. Thank you everyone so much. And that is it for us.